Karen meme was hijacked by Reddit normies to define middle-aged white women aggressively exercising their white privilege. But in the past couple of months, we've seen a new breed of Karen take center stage, emboldened by their zealous impulse to comply. Righteously indignant, emotionally unstable, irrationally aggressive and confrontational towards anyone they perceive to be breaking the rules. A new terror has been unleashed, a new blight on society. Brace yourself for the attack of the Corona Karens.
Says you may not come within 2 meters of me.
I'm walking past you.
I have a pair of crutches with me.
All right,
the
walk
distance
past then.
between
walk past
there
then.
and there is not sufficient.
Walk past then, you
for
fucking
there to be
donut.
2 meters
Walk past.
between
Walk past.
you and me.
Tape measure social distancing, Karen.
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
Mace in the face, Karen.
What are you doing? You cannot be serious. You just maced him. You just maced him. You just maced him. You just maced him and their food because you disagree.
Because a couple sat in a park eating a picnic weren't wearing masks. Coffee in the face, Karen.
Oh, hi. Bye.
You don't need to be wearing masks.
Hey, Matt. Oh, shit. That was dumb.
Walmart wishing death upon your kids for not wearing a mask, Karen.
They're not supposed to wear them. That's not true. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Even the school requires children under the age of 10 not to wear them. So why would I make them wear them? Why? It's being ridiculous. You're so ridiculous. All time. You take care of yourself. Bye. All time. Because you're going to kill me.
6 meter stick, Karen.
Hey, it's Corona time right now.
baby.
It's Corona time.
Lockdown enforcer, Karen.
Your ass is grass.
Right.
Do you understand? And if
I'm
you
done with this shit.
So be looking out for those cops.
All right, I will.
Get out of our
I'll be looking out for
neighborhood.
those
You're supposed to be
cops.
sheltered in place.
Attacking a disabled person for not wearing a mask, Karen.
You've got to wear the mask, yeah?
Not even properly wearing a mask while lecturing others for not wearing a mask, Karen.
Yes, film me, because you're a dickhead without a mask. You're a cunt putting people's lives at risk. No, Ben. No. Put a fucking mask on.
Yeah, Karens can be gender fluid. Grocery store coven of Karens. And let's not forget that there have been several instances where people not wearing masks have attacked others for asking them to wear one. People on both sides of the mask argument have been acting totally insane. But what's driving such hysterical behaviour? Taking sensible precautions to prevent the spread of coronavirus is one thing, but violent public meltdowns is something entirely different. The results of a jaw-dropping poll that received barely any media attention provides us with a stunning insight. A survey by research firm Keck CNC asked Americans how many people they thought had died from coronavirus in the United States. Out of 1,000 people asked, the average answer for how many people had died from COVID-19 in America was 9% of the population. That's almost 30 million people. To emphasize, the average American thinks coronavirus, which has killed around 155,000 people in the US, has actually killed 30 million. That's 225 times higher than the real figure. That's incredible. Americans also overestimate the number of total coronavirus cases by a factor of 20. It's a similar case in the UK, where respondents said coronavirus had killed 7% of the population, which equates to 5 million people. It's actually killed less than 50,000. So Brits think that coronavirus is 100 times deadlier than it actually is. The survey also reveals that across all countries, people think that 5 to 12% of people have caught coronavirus. In reality, even at the height of the pandemic, in England, for example, only 0.27% of the community population had COVID-19. So to reiterate, the average American thinks that coronavirus has killed 30 million people in the US. That's more than 29,800,000 than it actually has. Gee, I wonder why people overestimate the severity of COVID to such an alarming degree. Can't quite put my finger on what it might be.
Coronavirus chaos, a dire new warning. A wave of panic across the country.
Worst case scenario, second wave.
A second wave of coronavirus infections this winter likely will be worse.
Is this the dreaded second wave?
Second wave of the pandemic.
How bad could it get? This is along the lines of the Spanish flu.
The worst case scenario is the Spanish flu.
So it stands to reason that much of the freak out over masks is because the average person thinks coronavirus has killed around 200 times more people than it actually has. In tourist hotspots in the UK, residents are literally leaping out of the way into the road when they see a person walking in the opposite direction. Even as COVID deaths in the UK have slowed to a trickle, with total weekly death tolls below the 5-year average, many people are still too scared to go outside. Many people are also too frightened to go to the hospital, a factor which experts have warned will cost hundreds of thousands of lives due to untreated cancer and other illnesses. Now, as you know, on this platform, I'm not allowed to question the same health authorities who once told us that there was no human-to-human transmission of coronavirus, so I'm duty-bound to remind you that there's no debate whatsoever about the efficacy of masks. Experts and epidemiologists in countries like the Netherlands and Sweden totally haven't said that they're pointless and don't work. Eli Perenovich from the University of Iowa totally didn't say, quote, "They probably won't protect you because people touch them all the time." The science is totally settled. Masks work, and anyone who says otherwise is a granny killer. But whatever you believe about the necessity of masks, no one can deny that they've become a political issue. Within the space of a few weeks, the same people who hyperventilated over anti-lockdown Trump supporters for violating social distancing were literally applauding Black Lives Matter protesters for doing the exact same thing in much larger numbers. Contact tracers in New York were then specifically ordered not to ask people if they had attended a BLM rally.
Crowding together, particularly when you're not wearing a mask, contributes to the spread of the virus.
Should we limit the protesting?
I'm not sure what you mean. How do we say limit the protesting?
Should government limit the protesting?
Look, most people wear masks because they either believe they're genuinely at risk or because they have to go about their business. But then there's another type of mask wearer. The type who proudly wears one to let you know that they're a good person while they snarl and spit in your face for not wearing one. The type of person who believes that complying with arbitrary rules, no matter how disputed, is somehow an act of righteousness. The type of person who thinks virtue signaling is the same thing as being virtuous. The type of person who believes that wearing a mask is an act of moral courage, when it's actually a mundane display of obsequiousness. The type of person who enjoys inflicting their self-aggrandizing superiority complex on others at every available opportunity. The type of person who believes that conformity is a virtue, when it's an act of cowardice. Look, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. But don't think wearing a mask automatically makes you a good person. Don't think wearing a mask gives you the right to intimidate, threaten, and publicly shame other people. It doesn't, Karen.
It's absolutely crucial for you to help me fight the war on free speech by supporting me via Subscribe Star, link in description, and also signing up for my free newsletter at summit.news/newsletter.